third grade growing and repeating pattern activity. This is a physically active lesson, so let's get ready and review growing and repeating patterns. In this activity, you will 1. Be shown a pattern. 2. Decide if the image is a growing or repeating pattern. 3. Exercise your answer. 4. Decide the rule or core. 5. Decide what is missing. Let's do a quick review. Growing patterns have a rule that explains what the next term will be. Look at this growing pattern. The rule here is to add 1 extra laughing emoji after every heart. So it starts as 1 emoji, becomes 2 after a heart, becomes 3, becomes 4. So we add an extra laughing emoji after each heart. Repeating patterns have a core that repeats. Notice this pattern just repeats the heart and the laughing emoji one after the other without increasing in size. Let's get started. Is this pattern repeating or growing? If you think it's repeating, you're going to do 10 jumping jacks. If you think it's growing, you're going to do 5 squats. Pause this video and do your exercise. Also, be thinking about what's missing in this pattern. Play the video when you're ready to continue. This is a repeating pattern, so you should have done 10 jumping jacks. What comes next in this pattern? The triangle comes next. So what's the core of this pattern? The core is rectangle, triangle. Let's move on. Look at this pattern. Is this pattern repeating or growing? If it's repeating, do 10 jumping jacks. If you think it's growing, do 5 squats. Pause the video and do your exercises. Be thinking about what is missing from this pattern. You should have done 5 squats. This is a growing pattern. What is missing in this pattern? It is missing a star. This grows 1 star, 1 heart, 2 stars, 2 hearts, 3 stars, 3 hearts. We're adding 1 of each image every time. Number 3, is this pattern repeating or growing? If you think it's repeating, do 10 jumping jacks. If you think it's growing, do 5 squats. Pause the video and do your exercise. Be thinking about what is missing in the pattern. Hit play when you're ready to continue. This pattern is a growing pattern. What is missing in this pattern? A triangle is missing in this pattern. You will see that after each rectangle, there is an extra triangle. It grows by 1 triangle each time. Number 4, is this pattern repeating or growing? If you think it's repeating, do 10 jumping jacks. If you think it's growing, do 5 squats. Be thinking about what is missing in this pattern. Pause the video and after your exercise, hit play. This is a growing pattern. You should have done 5 squats again. What is missing in this pattern? The number 10 is missing in this pattern. What's the rule? How did you come up with 10? The rule was adding 2. Number 5, is this pattern repeating or growing? If you think it's repeating, do 10 jumping jacks. If you think it's growing, do 5 squats. Pause the video to do your exercises. Think about what is missing in this pattern and hit play when you're ready to continue. You should have done 10 jumping jacks. This is a repeating pattern. What is missing in this pattern? A down arrow is missing in this pattern. What do you think the core of this pattern is? The core that repeats is star, down arrow, down arrow. Number 6, is this pattern repeating or growing? If you think it's repeating, do 10 jumping jacks. If you think it's growing, do 5 squats. Pause the video and then hit play to see if you are correct. This pattern is growing. You should have done 5 squats. So what's missing in this pattern? A cross crawl is missing in this pattern. You'll notice that this growing pattern starts with a toe touch and increases by one cross crawl after every toe touch. Number 7, is this pattern repeating or growing? If you think it's repeating, do 10 jumping jacks. If you think it's growing, do 5 squats. Pause the video and do your exercise and hit play when you're ready to continue. This is a growing pattern. What is the rule of this growing pattern? The rule is to add 2 boxes each time. Number 8, is this pattern repeating or growing? If you think it's repeating, do 10 jumping jacks. If you think it's growing, do 5 squats. Pause the video so you have time to exercise. Be thinking about what is missing in this pattern and then hit play when you're ready. This is a repeating pattern. What's missing in this pattern? The up arrow is missing in this pattern. What is the core of this repeating pattern? It is up arrow, down arrow, side arrow, and it repeats over and over again. Number 9, is this pattern repeating or growing? If it's repeating, do 10 jumping jacks. If it's growing, do 5 squats. Pause the video to do your exercise, think about the missing number, and then hit play when you're ready. This is a growing pattern. What is missing in this pattern? The number 40 is missing in this pattern. What is the rule of this pattern? We are adding 5 each time. Number 10, our last one. What is the missing number in this pattern? Pause the video if you need to figure out what's missing, and then hit play. 50 is missing in this pattern. Now, what's the rule for this number pattern? The rule was to subtract 10. Pause this video and jog in place for a count of 10, and then hit play to finish up. Great job. Thank you for participating in this pattern activity.